there, and welcome to Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. My name is Miss Dawn, and I'm so excited that you are here to join us for a virtual tour. We're gonna see lots of really awesome animals today and learn some really interesting facts. So if you guys are ready, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Okay, so right now we are hanging out with our giraffe herd. They're one of the first things that you see when you come into the zoo here in African Rift Valley. And as you can tell, one of the most popular parts of visiting our giraffe herd is feeding them lettuce. They love it so much. Previously this year, the newest member of our giraffe herd turned 6 months old. BB, which stands for Bailey's Baby, is also the 202nd giraffe calf that has been born here at Cheyenne Mountain Zoo. Okay, so we were walking along and we came across our red river hog friend here. So this is another fun type of mammal that lives in Africa. As you can see, this one has a little bit more hair, and even up there on its ears, you can see the long pieces of hair that are coming off of its ears. And that's actually really cool adaptation that this species has. So they're moving their ears and their tail because all the hair that's on those, if they swat it around, it actually helps keep the bugs off of them. So really cool adaptation that red river hogs have. All right, friends, so we actually got to come in with our African Cape porcupine. This is Waffles, and this is her keeper, Phil. He's the one who let us come in here today, which is so cool because then you guys get to have a close look at our porcupine. So some things that you might notice about Waffles in particular here is that she's pretty unique. If you can tell, she doesn't have an eyeball on this side. She only has one eye. So I think that she might have had an accident younger in her life. But thankfully we were able to take care of that, get it cleaned up, and she still lives a really happy, healthy life here at the zoo. Phil was just telling us that he lets her walk around the zoo sometimes when guests aren't here, and she's super brave because she has over 60,000 quills on her body. So she's not afraid of anything. She'll just walk around and she knows if she needs to protect herself, she can, but she's also pretty gentle and friendly, which is why I get the chance to be in here with her. All right, so now we're over here with one of my favorite animals to come visit in African Rift Valley, especially. So these are our meerkats, and Keeper Phil, again, just being such a gem and helping us out here. He fed them so that way you guys can get an up-close look. So you can see our meerkats right here are running around and getting crickets. So it's really fun to watch them kind of scavenge. They're really good at digging, so their whole exhibit here is lots of dirt, and they like to dig and hide in those holes. And then, as you all know, meerkats are, they live in family groups, and there's usually a couple of them that sit on top and they watch for predators. So if a predator comes nearby, then one of them will call, but thankfully here at the zoo they don't have to worry about that too much. Now it's time to check in with the top predator in the African plains, and that is the lion. Here at our zoo, we have two lion groups. One family group, which consists of a male and a few females, and then the second group is a bachelor herd, which is actually made up of the sons of the male from the other family group. So Abudo is the male that lives with the females, and his sons, Boma and Aslan, who you see here, are part of our bachelor herd. quite a few animals here at our zoo that are found in the African plains, but it's hard to see all of them on any given day. Some are smaller and have enclosures that are a little bit more off view from the general public, but sometimes during the warmer months especially, they can be seen coming out and making special appearances and doing little shows and stuff kind of sporadically throughout the day, and introducing people to some of these other cool species. So a lot of the ones that are not often seen are some of our birds that we have. And this guy here, this is Carl, and Carl is a Vanderdeckens hornbill. So he might look a little bit familiar if you have seen The Lion King. Zazu in that movie is a Vanderdeckens hornbill. So you can see here how Carl is able to fly, but it appears that he prefers to hop around a little bit instead. So even though some birds are capable of flying, they might not want to fly as far distances and have other means of getting around that they might prefer. This is another bird who actually prefers to spend their time on the ground as well. In fact, it is in their name. This is an Abyssinian ground hornbill, and although again they do have feathers and can fly, they prefer to walk around just like Zira is doing here with her keeper. We also, in this area, the birds that people are more used to seeing next to our giraffes are our helmeted guinea fowl. We also have cattle egrets over in this area, and then the taller ones with kind of the funky looking feathers sticking out the back of their head, those are the African crowned cranes. So they are kind of like a heron that we would have here, but they are a little bit bigger and again can fly, but do a lot of time just walking around on their own as well. Another animal that we would find in this region is the African gray parrot. We do have one at our zoo. His name is Raider, and Raider comes out every once in a while and again meets guests and kind of shows off some of his skills. So like other parrots, he is really intelligent and therefore has picked up quite a few behaviors, some that he has learned on his own and others that we have taught him. But in this next clip, he is going to mimic some of those sounds that his keepers have learned or been able to capture on cue. There are other sounds that he makes on his own for fun, but not ones that we ask him to. So this next clip, like I said, shows off some of his awesome mimicking skills. What is it?
Raider, can you dance? No, can you dance? Pew pew! Can you dance? Good boy. Water? Hey buddy. Hey buddy. Spin. Can you spin? Spin. Good boy, show off your tail. Are you excited? You baby bird? You baby bird? Dance? You want to keep going?
I mean, up to you. This is great. We got like a minute and a half.
Yeah, I mean,
Doing awesome.
Up at the top of the hill, or up the hill a little ways further, you will find this beautiful oasis that kind of overlooks the whole city. And this is where we find the largest land mammal. So up here are the elephants. And here at our zoo, we have 6 African elephants, and all of our elephants happen to be females and are all older. So the average lifespan for an African elephant, and for Asian elephants as well, is usually somewhere in their 40s to 45. But in facilities like ours, they can sometimes live into their 50s as well. So our Asian or our African elephants are a range. Our youngest one, I think, is in her late 30s, and then our oldest one is in her early 50s.
quite as large as the elephants, but still just as impressive, we have our rhino. This is Junbei, and he is a black rhino that lives here with us at the zoo. And although rhinos are big and they have those really impressive horns, people don't realize that they're actually fairly shy animals by nature. So Junbei here actually sometimes can be difficult to see at the zoo because he's a little bit more shy and doesn't always come all the way out in his enclosure, and sometimes likes to stay a little further tucked into the back. But we always make sure to provide him with lots of fun enrichment, just like this really cool fire hose toy here. And fire hose is awesome because it's really strong and durable, which is important when we have really strong animals as well. While we were building their new enclosure, our warthogs, Penelope and Alexander, got to go on vacation in the elephant yard, and you can see that they really enjoyed themselves. So they were sharing a space with the elephants and taking turns, not sharing at the same time, but taking turns coming out and digging around and running around in the space that our elephants are usually in while the elephants were outside. But then once their exhibit was finished and ready for them to move in order to get them over there, we actually just walked them over. They are harness trained. So you can see Alexander going for a walk with his keepers here. So he just walked down the hill to his brand new home over in Water's Edge, Africa, and so did Penelope. And now they're over here and they really enjoy their new home. They still have an awesome mud wallow and they have lots of grass and space to run around, but most importantly, all of the mud that they could ever possibly want. Neighboring our warthogs in Water's Edge, Africa, are our hippos. We have 3 hippos here at our zoo. Their names are Kasai, Zambezi, and Biko, and here you are seeing Biko being introduced to the females. It is the hope that at some point they might breed, but before we can put them in together, since they are such big animals and we don't want them to hurt each other, that we have them just introduce to each other safely like this. Thanks again for joining us on our virtual tour today. I had lots of fun showing you guys around our zoo. I hope you enjoyed seeing all of the animals and learning lots of interesting facts. And I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. See you next time.